Let's see here. I'm not hearing anything.
Good morning.
You're not hearing anything. Hey, Retro, you there?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. We are live.
Okay. Now I hear you.
Okay, is this stuff working?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, I don't hear you through StreamYards. I only hear you
Oh,
through the YouTube.
Huh, interesting. Okay, let's see. Tyler, last day of his 8-day work week. Yay! 8 days of hell and suffering done. Yes, I understand that. Hey, Fury, uh, let's see. Did I send? I know I tried to send some people links this morning, and I got canceled on. They said that I was trying to spam people. So, it's like, well, I don't try to,
oh.
yeah, I guess I was spamming because I was just going down my mail list and basically everybody that I've messaged, DM'd one way or another, I was sending a link to this morning
Okay, I figured it out.
because, all right, you good to go now?
I'm good to go now. I had to switch a little pull down thing for the audio.
Ah, so the retro, you there?
Yes, I'm here. You hear me?
Okay, and how about Fuzzy Kitten? Do not hear Fuzzy Kitten.
Fuzzy Kitten's here.
Oh,
Ah, there's Fuzzy Kitten. Okay,
Or I think Fuzzy
retro.
Kitten's here.
Retro. I think this is the first time you and I've actually talked, isn't it?
yes, it is. First time I've actually been on a stream at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes me that. Uh, Thank you. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it. So, well, first of all, tell me a little
But
bit
be
about
gentle, baby.
yourself. I mean, you and I've we've shared stuff back and forth around over the years, but tell us a little bit about yourselves. Introduce yourself to everybody out there.
I'm an Air Force veteran. Currently living in Fairbanks, Alaska. Um,
So, what'd you do in the Air Force?
I was in Space Command.
Ah, okay, cool beans. Well, you know I'm retarded Air Force.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so how many years were you in?
16.
Whoa, you didn't do the last four?
I kind of had a mental breakdown, to be perfectly honest, and don't really want to go into the details of
Okay,
everything,
that's
but it was just not feasible for me to continue on. I would have been put in make work jobs, and I just couldn't deal with that.
mm,
But
well,
on the bright side,
I,
I got VA disability, so
I was going to say I hope you got an appropriate discharge then.
yes, I did.
Okay, they tried to medical me at 17 years,
Mm.
and my commander said I had 14 hernias,
Ooh, ouch!
and that's not
How
good on the
many?
flight. 14.
You got all the hernias.
And you obviously can't work on the flight line with that many hernias.
Uh,
You know,
Mm.
when you can't lift anything hevier than 5 pounds, they really can't use you on the flight line doing anything when the lightest weight component you change is 35 pounds.
That's kind of the situation I was in. I lost my flight status because of my situation, and there was nothing I could really do. So I would have been put in a make work job like the gym or something, and it's just I
Well,
wasn't going to do that for 4 years.
my, I had an amazing commander.
Mm,
He offered me a job in the orderly room as a resource advisor,
yeah. See,
and
I was
and
in the
when you're
guard.
So that, that's overseeing a $12 million budget for my last 3 years in the service. I could handle that.
Yeah. See, I was in the Guard at the time. My last few years were in the Guard, active Guard.
Okay.
But I knew the sort of jobs that they would give me, and it's just like, no. They begged me to stay, though. So,
Well,
yeah. So that's me.
okay. Well, like I said, my commander threw me in as a resource advisor for 3 years, an office job. I worked directly for him, no one else. So when you have a lieutenant colonel writing your annual reviews, you know you're going to get at least a full bird endorsement, and if you get a secondary endorsement, it's going to be at least a general rank. So,
Yeah.
But it was also under the conditions that I understood I would not get promoted above tech sergeant, that I would retire as a tech.
Mm.
I would be ineligible for any kind of promotions. So I could live with that.
Yeah.
Did you see what Tyre just said? This is
Wasn't
the
extra
oldest stream on the internet. If you add up all your ages, it equals out to 5 trillion years.
I'm only 50.
I'm only 64, so. How old are you, kitten?
Hey, I'm actually coming up to 51.
51, okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself there, kitten.
Well, I'm quite obviously Brit Long. I'm not military in any way, shape, or form. I'm a civilian contractor, is the best way to call it.
Okay.
And I currently work in event security, where I get to go to a lot of gigs. And in the last 12 years, I have seen out of possibly 800 events that I've done, 2 music acts that I actually enjoyed.
Well, out of 800 events, there's only been 2 that you enjoyed.
Pretty much. Actually, no, there was 3. I'll call it a slight 3.
How do you keep getting assigned to such horrible events?
Because nobody's got any taste whatsoever. So I just have to do what comes along, and it's all crap.
Well, the question is, what do you consider
And
taste?
for the the 2 events that I actually saw one was Slayer, Anthrax, Lamb of God, Obituary, and I'm trying to think who else was there, but that was there, and I'd actually seen Slayer the first time they played in the UK, and also the last time they played in the UK, and the other one was in the same, pretty much the same year. It was Madness and Squeeze. Now I've seen Madness loads of times, but what it was is I had never seen Squeeze, and I really wanted to see Squeeze. Oh, and ELO, but it wasn't ELO. It was basically Jeff Lynne, which is unfortunately because he's the last Wilbury.
Yeah, that was a cool show. Anthrax and Slayer and
Oh yeah, and our stage front pit.
nice.
It was absolutely fantastic. Getting all the stage surfers, sit there, pull them across the mojos, slap on the arse, and point them all the other way. I was about the only person there, I think, who even knew who half of them were.
Hey, Duck Dog, I just threw the link in the chat. If you want to join in, go for it. Hey, morning, Data. Yeah, I did security, but mostly hotel and property security after I got out of the Air Force.
I tried to.
Working, which wasn't bad. I mean, property security was a piece of cake. It just
Yeah.
drove around in my vehicle. There's a gated community, and I was either at the gate or driving around the community with a high beam and ensuring that nothing untoward was going on in any construction sites.
Yeah, I did some
So,
hotel security myself, and can be either really good or really freaking weird. The best being the drugged out native that tried to stab me with an electric drill. So,
Pray tell.
yeah, that could be an interesting story.
yeah, he ended up stabbing a cop too with a knife, and then wanted to know why he was going to jail.
Why you picking on me?
I didn't do nothing.
Just your job's worth.
I think the worst night I ever had working security was the night had some idiot playing with the elevators.
Yeah, I wasn't in
And
that high class of a place.
and well, the problem was is when you got the elevators going up and down all night long, you start getting complaints.
Hmm.
And that means you got to try to find out who in the hell it is that is jumping onto an elevator, holding the doors open, hitting all the buttons, then jumping
All
out
the
of the
buttons.
elevator. Yes.
Well, there's buttons. You've got to press all of them. That's
Right.
the rule of buttons.
And the guy was, and never did catch them, but the whoever they were hitting every elevator in the building. And there's like 6 sets of elevators. So they're all going all night long, and people are complaining because they can't get on them because they're busy. They're not on the right floor. They got to go through everything. Well, help us out.
It's
Tell us who in the
quite
hell's doing
simple.
it.
You press the call button. You go in. You put your hand down the right hand side, and you go smear, 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 and then you step out and walk up the stairs.
But I mean, during spring break and such, we'd have the people running around naked through the floors, up and down the hallways. Catch them in the swimming pool naked at 1 o'clock in the morning or in the jacuzzi.
Oh, it's only a jacuzzi. It's not like a small beck in the middle of North Yorkshire. It's normally when I get them swimming in November and December, drunk off their napper, and then trying to swim in a small frozen beck, about -10. And then you sit there and you wonder what's going on, and you're trying to explain to them it's called alcohol. Something I'm very familiar with.
Alcohol gets people in lots of trouble.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah.
I, I was having to
What's the American version of a wine witch?
of a what?
A wine witch.
Oh, you mean a woman that just there and drinks wine all day?
Oh, what is that?
About a 20 to 30-year-old lass that comes out on gigs and just sits there and gets absolutely plastered.
Oh,
The Bucks line, man.
And
I just
then
can't think of the word
kicks
for it.
off even worse than a football crowd. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we call them a wine witch.
It's a good term. I like it.
yeah, I like that term. I've never heard. Honestly, I'd never. I don't ever remember having a term for them for that. I mean, we just call them drunk bitches.
Wine mom or something
That
like that.
works just as well.
Yeah, wine. Yeah, wine mom works.
Yeah. We can't call them drunk bitches because sometimes, although we're on covert radio, you have to actually call it over the radio. So we've got to just sit there and go, I've got a drunk bitch. We've got a
So,
wobbly Wendy.
so what do you do now, Retro?
I'm on disability for VA, so
Oh,
take,
okay.
it takes care of me pretty good.
So you're on 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yep. Well, yeah, I come out with 40%, and I think that's all I'm ever going to get out of that. That's why I'm working on other ways.
Yeah. That's on top of your retirement, though, right?
Well, see, the military active duty is strange. Yeah, I do get my retirement check, but for every dollar on my retirement, or for every dollar I get in the VA disability, I lose $1 out of my retirement check.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah,
What
That's
the fuck?
that sucks.
yeah. The military in the U.S., the military is the only branch of the government that if you are drawing disability, you lose the equivalent amount out of your retirement. But they said, well,
Uh,
they say, well, you're still making more money because you don't get taxed on that disability check.
That is true.
So, but I really, the couple of $100 a year that may save me on taxes is not really that great of a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying.
So,
that's a rough deal.
but I'm going to be honest though. I mean, if it wasn't for my military retirement check and military disability check, I'd be in a hell of a lot worse position than what I'm in. Hey, Ramen.
Yeah, I'm single too, which makes it easier.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've
Don't.
got I've got grandkids. I'm still married, and I got grandkids, and gotta try to spoil them a little bit. Hey, Ramen, you got a link in your DMs. Science of Carbon Day that streamed in film somewhere between the
Why
late
not on the
Cenozoic period.
Cenozoic?
Boy, Tyre is really getting nasty with us about our ages.
Besides, having the Cretaceous and Devonian period.
Well, he can jump on and make the stream younger if he wants.
Yeah. He could shave almost, what, 12 years off us on average.
Now, the reason why I'm doing today as an open stream is I just did not feel about like getting too involved in anything today. So why not just make an open stream and let people jump on and talk and see what happens? Hey, Spoonie.
Um,
Okay. And as I said, anybody that wants to jump on can jump on. Just don't do anything that's going to get me, get YouTube too mad at me.
That's why I don't have the camera on, because I'm naked.
I did not need to know that.
I may be lying.
Now, I think I found out what was going on with my computer, and as far as freezing up for the past few days, and I got to call the company that made my headset. I think my dongle is going out, or was causing the issues because it kept losing connection with the because that was what was given the connecting my wireless mic headset to the computer.
Hmm.
And so now I'm just going straight Bluetooth version and stuff going through the dongle. So I hope it sounds halfway decent, but
Yeah, data beat me to it.
The fact that you've got a dongle tells you it's a bit old.
I was thinking there's a pill for that.
Yeah.
that little purple pill.
Oh, it's a dollar pill.
So
By the
if
way,
it's
I actually
go
get
ahead.
prescribed that. The reason being is I've got Raynaud's, which is circulatory disorder, and so therefore I actually get given Silarus actually as a way to stop me getting Raynaud's attacks, which has its strange side effects.
Well, that's you. So you're getting a twofer.
Eh, sort of, but I'm single. It's a bit awkward. Bit of a wasted opportunity, really.
Yep. We've so if it's not giving away too much here, Retro, what exactly did you do in Space Command?
um, Mainly, I did radar work, missile warning, space surveillance. I
Scope
also
dope.
I was going to ask about Space Command.
did some satellite work with space-based infrared, which
Would Space Command be the equivalent of like BMES, ballistic mystical early warning systems and
yep,
low Earth orbit systems?
absolutely. I've worked on those systems.
Yeah. Okay. And no, it was when you said you're in Space Command. I was like, well, that sounds. Hang on. What does that
It
mean?
sounds much cooler than it actually is most of the time. There's reasons it's known as scope
Yeah.
dope for a lot of people.
What now?
And then
See,
the satellite work, I learned some things that I didn't particularly want to know, so I got out of that pretty quick. And that's all I can really
Hey,
say about
colonial
that.
orbits.
I
Yeah.
back in 1979, I dated a young lady that was a scope dope in the golf ball.
Ooh,
And
Oh,
in the
really?
old.
yeah, and the reason why I say that is because the building she worked out of it actually looked like a humongous golf ball.
Which
You mean like the big golf balls that we have in North Yorkshire?
I have no idea what you got in North Yorkshire.
which base are you
Mammoth
talking?
Hill. That'd be Mammoth.
I mean Toss, but
Yeah.
what
Um,
base are you talking, Toss?
sorry,
Well,
it's
that was out at Luke Air Force Base.
Luke.
Yeah, out in Arizona, outside of Phoenix.
I'm not sure what they're doing there, to be perfectly honest.
Like I said, that was back in 1979.
Right, it may have been a satellite control station or something like that.
But
Yeah, the one I was talking about is Menworth Hill, and that's in North Yorkshire.
Mhm.
Well, it's not North Yorkshire, it's sort of in between.
Yeah.
but yeah, her and I dated for a little bit. She was a scope dope there. And that's all she would tell me about her job is I'm a scope dope. I work in that building and I'm a scope dope. That's all you need to know. Okay.
Never heard of Project Solar Warden, Data. Though I am in Alaska and we're supposed to have the sky lighting up because of HARP in the next few days.
Let's see. Project Solar Warden. Secret space program built maintains a fleet or several fleets of spaceships operating within our solar system.
I've
Oh,
I've heard that conspiracy theory. if you saw
yes.
some if you saw some of the equipment that Space Command works with, you would not believe in that theory either. I worked
Yeah.
I worked on
It's like the
literally some of the equipment I worked on was literally from the 50s. Some much newer, but
they've got, it's like that one guy used to be on Art Bell that was the space marine with the secret marine base on the dark side of the moon.
damn, I miss Art Bell. That man was a legend. He could talk to anybody.
And make it believable.
Mm,
When I worked, I worked a lot of night shifts, and listening to Art Bell is what got me through
mhm.
them. Sit there and just laugh. I would sit there and chuckle at most of them
Mhm.
because these people, it sounded like they actually believed what they were talking about.
Mhm. Some of them do.
Oh, yeah. I get I, I hate conspiracy. Some of the more ridiculous conspiracy theories that don't even understand basic physics.
Yeah, I have problems with that with movies. Like everybody said, Gravity was so great, and I watched that movie, and it's just ridiculous.
Gravity.
Ugh,
Uh,
The
oh,
one
is
with
that?
Sandra Bullock, I think it was,
that
and the
was a
space
Oh,
sort of, yeah.
station.
I
Yeah.
I sat there and I was so the wife loved that movie and I'm sitting there going, I'm really wanting to point out all this crap. And I'm going, no, no,
Mhm.
no, no, no. Never happened. Never happened.
Yeah, and yeah, we've had things break up and explode and whatnot, but here's the thing: it doesn't go around that fast. It still has to go around the entire planet. She would have been hit once in the entire movie, so it
Yeah.
made no sense.
Space is big, space is dark. However, low Earth orbit is very clustered. You're going to smack something.
Yeah, we actually had a space shuttle that almost got totally screwed up by a paint fleck. Penetrated like halfway through the windscreen of the space shuttle.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
that's what.
if
I
you,
missed that bit of news.
Oh, that was ages ago. That's why whenever you saw the space shuttle in orbit, it was always going backwards because they
yeah,
would turn it around so it wouldn't be hitting the front of the ship.
Oh,
that's how they
okay.
the latest screens. Oh, okay. That might have just been something weird I
Okay.
picked up.
Well, they still don't have the force fields to go, shields yet to go up around them.
I'm wagering Space Junk Man will one day be a job.
Oh, it's going to be because there is so
Oh,
much
it
crap
is.
in orbit.
They're supposed to do it. They did the entire. I know it sounds quite strange. It's like but the Swiss are actually going up there and they're doing space cleanup jobs. One of the major ones of those was a 1950s or early 60s job to put in an entire crapload of small inductors in the entire low Earth atmosphere, and they were actually going up and cleaning them up. They're just little small copper coils. And you go like that and go, hey, look, you can't get radar. Yeah. And, oh, what have you got? It's an absolute nightmare because they're all traveling around at, well,
Seven,
orbital
17
velocities.
17,500 miles an hour at the very least.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, some of them are up in an almost like a 300K orbit. So they're going a hell of a lot faster.
Yeah.
well, let's see here. Just an article from September of this year. There's that NASA's tracking over 26,000 bits of space junk, right? But what
was that number again?
26,000.
Those are really the ones that you track.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
That's about
26,000 they'll tell you about.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's
several orders of magnitude out.
okay. Let's see. European Space Agency's procured the ClearSpace 1 mission as a service from the Swiss startup ClearSpace in order to showcase the technical know-how for space clutter removal. They're using a Vespa.
Yeah.
A rocket adapted Vespa to do it.
The little motorcycles?
It's literally a small 1950s, big windscreens, everything else like that. They're putting a moped up there and they're putting a little, it's like, what do you call it? Food to go. That's what they're doing. And he's going around and just collecting the things.
Huh. That's interesting.
All right, we'll talk to you later, Data. Yeah, they're you talking about getting giant almost some sort of baggage system for collecting, nets for collecting that space junk.
It's a giant silicone net that goes out, and once it reaches a certain mass, it sits there and then falls back and burns up into Earth. As far as I can recall. It's been a long time since I've looked at it.
Well, there we. Okay, let's see here. Where'd that picture go? There it is.
See, I'm thinking something more like salvage for all the precious metals and stuff inside of them.
Oh,
there's a lot of iridium.
There's a lot. There's a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. Iridium, platinum, gold. There isn't actually that much because a lot of it is actually very fine plated.
True.
It mostly only goes.
Yeah, but even with it being fine plated, you get enough of that together, you get. It's like the guys stealing.
You could brush a standard street and probably pick up more platinum.
It's like people stealing the converters off of your cars, to melt them down for the precious metals inside of them.
Yeah. Nobody does that anymore because nobody actually thinks of it. They'll rather sit there and steal high-grade copper cable as opposed to go for the platinum and rhodium and iridium inside catalytic converters.
No, that's just here in the States, out west, there's big problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
California, Arizona, parts of Texas, big problem with people stealing them converters.
We had a guy up here. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I was saying we had a guy up here in Fairbanks that was getting a torch and climbing under cars, stealing catalytic converters
Yeah.
for the copper.
For the
So
copper,
I believe it was copper in it. It's
um,
whatever was
I
whatever
would.
metal was in it, they were selling for scrap, and they just kept going from car to car and cutting them out.
I was going to say it's mostly platinum, rhodium. Um, it's rather like really high quality, non-organic. Sorry, non-organic because it's non-organic. It's metal. Um, but it's the platinoids, platinum, iridium,
Okay,
rhodium.
okay, maybe.
Uh,
I'm not a car expert, so I just know what they were cutting out.
oh, I've got no idea when it comes to cars. Cars go broom. That's all I know.
Exactly.
okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Catalytic converter theft is down 25% this year. Yay.
Ooh,
Okay,
target
theft of
reached.
catalytic converters surged so aggressively during the pandemic, Congress looked to step in. It's down by 25%. Let's see, they're stealing for the rhodium that's
Yeah,
inside of them because rhodium was $3,000 an ounce.
Okay, that's what it was then.
Yeah,
yeah.
in 2019 it was $3,000 an ounce. Went up to 26,000 in 2021.
Hmm.
So
That's probably because
yeah,
nobody was stealing it. That's probably why the price went up.
so that's why people were stealing catalytic converters for the rhodium. Yeah, I mean, but how many catalytic converters do you have to steal and melt down to get an ounce of rhodium out of it?
Quite a few. I mean, they are. I mean, the microcoric uh, carbon rods with literally just a deposition coating. It's not that much. You'd be better off stealing bus bars from old industrial plants. Hey, Detroit. Just
Well, they had that kid that
saying.
was busted by the FBI because he went around getting old smoke detectors and
Hang on, we're talking about the nuclear Boy Scout here.
right. Uh, and
Ah, it's
well,
a
the
wonderful
nuclear
story.
Boy Scout wasn't
It's
the
the
only
person
one.
who
There's some
used.
other guys busted too for doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Hey,
you can get enough of that stuff, and uh, yeah, uh, if you're willing to put in the time and effort, you can get a lot of really expensive stuff for free,
yeah,
or very
Californium's
little.
really damn expensive, and it's in most smoke detectors, and it's probably the most expensive mineral on the planet.
You're starting to robot a little bit there, kitten.
I'm sorry, I was
Now,
just saying you
Duck
can
Dog,
get
why would
from
somebody
smoke detectors, you can get Californium.
Duck Dog? Why would you want to live in Ghana?
Ghana is very colourful.
All I can think about with Ghana is Kool-Aid. Isn't that Jim Jones' place?
Hey,
Now, Duck Dog is saying the Guyanese crush up the ceramic substrate and snort it because it gets you high.
I can't imagine it getting you high. It probably will sit there and give you heavy metal poisoning, which will give you a form of oxidation risk, I suppose. Um,
I think it would shred your nose.
Really, and your lungs.
Hmm.
Imagine what that crap does to
Yeah,
your
very
lungs.
much up your nose.
I mean, there's so many things that I mean, I punished my lungs enough when I started smoking in basic training, and I smoked for about 30 years.
Yeah, I stopped smoking. I still vape, but yeah, that's
I
hard to get off of.
my last carton of cigarettes that I bought cost me $19 and change with tax.
Yeah, I remember when they were $10 at the commissary for a
Oh,
carton.
I get the when I was in Germany, I got the black on whites. You know, they just had cigarettes on them,
Hmm.
and those are like $2.50 a carton.
The good
Yeah,
stuff.
you know the you know let's see here. I was a E4, and I think an E4 at that time, living in the barracks, made $500 a month
Whew.
because an E1,
I use for
well, an E1
$2.50 a week
made
on cigarettes.
an E1 at the time made $400 a month before taxes. $404 a month.
Sad how much our dollar is depreciated.
You know, and
And this
and
is why a good English guy couldn't get laid in Germany because all you guys were over there and too overpaid.
well,
I mean,
I wouldn't
you go to
exactly call
Osnabrück,
$400 a
nobody
month.
would actually good.
I wouldn't exactly call $400 a month, 400 to 500 bucks a month, being overpaid.
Well, it's better than I was on.
So, and you still had taxes coming out of that. But then
Mm-hmm.
I can also remember
Oh,
being that
definitely.
I can also remember having when I was living in the barracks and eating out of the chow hall and not doing anything else, having 2 or 3 uncashed paychecks sitting in my foot locker.
Oh, joy.
Because
I was paying
because
rent.
I had absolutely nothing to spend money on. You know, I mean, once I bought my toiletries, there was nothing else to pay for. 'Cause, that was
Frauleins.
back at that was back in no, that was back in while in Germany we were to leave base at that time. You actually had to still get a pass from your commander to leave base. You couldn't just walk off base whenever you wanted to.
You see, this is the
So
advantage of being a civilian contractor.
that did change while I was there.
Yeah.
That did change in the early '80s, but
Yeah,
when I first got there, you had to actually show a pass to get off base.
they don't even take the cell phones away from them anymore in basic.
Oh, I yeah. What this is the thing that gets me, and I every time I see it, I want to yell and scream. I want to beat. Seeing people making TikToks or YouTube videos or whatever else in full uniform.
Yeah, absolutely. That is
I
totally.
mm,
Oh no, that's a biggie. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even if I had a camera. I would never even film somebody in uniform.
I was I was getting ready to fly home on my first leave over Christmas after basic training. So I'm going to fly home in my blues, right? Going through the
You're
Phoenix
breaking up there,
airport.
hon.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Sound
Going
good to
through the
me.
going through the Phoenix airport. Right, the Salvation Army was there singing Christmas carols. I had a while before my flight, so I stood off to the side listening to them, and sort of singing along, but not as part of the group. I wasn't standing with them. Well, somehow or another, somebody got a picture just right. It was in the newspaper, and
You,
the
you,
angle was just right to where it looked like I was part of, that I was standing in with the Salvation Army singing. I got back from my leave, and first thing I am is pulled into the first sergeant's office, and I was threatened with a court martial for misrepresenting the military in a public area by standing too close to the Salvation Army when that picture was taken. When I first started on the internet, just joining chat rooms, this was pure typing stuff. No voice communications, just typing stuff. Discussing political and social whatever back in 1984. I actually was warned, and I did it. I went down to the legal office and asked them what kind of guidelines they had for me to do this and not get in any kinds of trouble. And they said the easiest way to stay out of trouble is not to tell anybody you're active duty military. Don't discuss anything about being military. Don't use anything. Da 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 da. And I didn't until 6 months after I retired in '98. Nobody I talked to online knew I was active duty military because I did not want to get brought up on any kind of charges for misrepresenting the government or anything else. Which, Retro, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I absolutely know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And now these people are out there in uniform, swinging their stuff around, talking about anything and everything. Hell, I saw a major lose his command because he got overindulged in adult beverages back during the Clinton years. And he said something bad about Clinton. And he lost his command over that. So now he was in the officers club and said a few things a little bit too much and lost his command.
Yeah.
As far as I know, that's a career destroyer.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the draft to start up again.
Oh. There are so many videos of these young guys out there. I ain't going to join no draft. I'll do the 5 years in jail. I'll do 5 years. They got to feed me. They got to clothe me. And I don't have to. And that 5 years be a lot easier to put up with. Or I wish I could find that one video right now. There was a woman talking out there. Goes, if these military officers think that they're going to talk to us women like they talk to those men, we've had too many abusive boyfriends. We'll tell them what's up. I'm sitting there going,
they've never had a boyfriend.
Oh my God. You're right. That if they were to start up the draft again, and damn well they'd have to start drafting women.
Yep.
Damned well. I mean, there'd be so many lawsuits brought up.
Well, we have to. Women are the only people who actually know who they are.
Congress actually talked about it a couple years ago.
They
but it died in a hurry.
they talked about it again like a few weeks ago, I think, and they were open to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I missed that.
I forget the article. It's been too long. I'd never find it at this point. But yeah, they were talking again about starting up the draft and having women added to the draft. So
As long as
Drafting
you do
Women
it the same
2022.
way on the same way that they do as far as I can understand, the American. No, it's not a draft. It's the what do you call it? The collegiate program, where you sit there, and if you sit there and do so many years, you get your higher education paid for.
um, they have the GI Bill, which gives you a certain amount of money to pay for college, and different states have different benefits as well. I know Illinois pretty much pays for state college if you join and retire there.
Well, yeah, if you here's a question though. All right, with all the illegals, now the way the law reads, all right, is all draft age. Um, the federal law requires nearly all male citizens and male immigrants 18 to 25 to register with Selective Service. How many
That's the
of
word.
these illegals do you think they've had register with Selective Service?
Zero.
Right up there with the amount that actually pay taxes. Yeah, they always say, oh, they pay taxes. They don't pay taxes. They pay sales tax, and that's about it. If they do pay taxes, it's because they're using forged ID.
I would love to see the feminist reaction to being told that they've got to actually follow the Selective Service laws. If you don't register for the draft, you're ineligible for any kind of government job in any state, federal or local, federal, or local jobs. You're ineligible for any kind of federal college loans. You're ineligible for any. I mean, there are so many things. If you're not registered for the draft, you cannot get, or you're ineligible for.
There's always been a problem in the UK. We've always got an awful lot of European immigration, and it isn't because we're brilliant. Nobody wants to live 55 degrees north or things like that. It's a miserable bloody climate. The problem is we don't have national service. Most of Europe does. In fact, most of the world does. But we're one of the few countries that don't. We do
You
not
don't? I
have
thought
an indebt.
really you're 100% voluntary service.
100% professional soldiers.
The problem we have is we are not getting people to sign up anymore. They're having to do all sorts of crazy things. They just made a bunch of Army guys, forced them to be recruiters without.
False recruiters. Yeah,
Yeah,
we used to call them. We used to have a word for them.
the people that are wanting to join now, though, are not the people that are joining for. They're joining for alternative reasons besides wanting to serve the country.
They're getting benefits, but a lot of the people that we're getting over is we get an awful lot of 18 to specifically 18 to 26-year-olds, because once they've left Britain after the age of 26, they're no longer eligible for national service in the whole of Europe. Whereas if you take somewhere like the wonderful Sweden, everybody's favorite place, Sweden. It's the picture of democracy and the picture of everything. Yeah, and you all have to do public and national service. Unless, of course, you come over to Britain and hide here for 9 years.
Hmm.
Mm.
That's why you get Swedish au pairs. Because Swedish au pairs, the moment they leave the country, are no longer eligible to do police, civic, or national service. Otherwise, they would have had to have done at least, I believe, 3 years in one of them.
Now, is there an upper age limit where once you're past a certain age, then you're you're no
26.
longer required?
Yep, 26. It's the magic age. It comes in France, Turkey, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Luxembourg, Denmark, I believe half of Scandinavia. Once you get over the age of 25, that's it. You can then sit there and you can do your vanity degrees and everything.
Now, hey, Duck Dog, I damn sure could never shoot without my glasses either. I've been wearing glasses since fourth or fifth grade, and I had no problem joining. I mean, I had my choice of the services. Even the Marines. The Marine recruiter was the worst. Now, back in '78 when I joined, the legal drinking age was 18. And the Marine
Uh,
recruiter tried to take me across the street from the recruiting station to the bar to have a few drinks with them. And at the time, I didn't drink. The only alcoholic beverage I drank was hard cider, which we made ourselves.
I always
Nice.
find that weird phrase, hard cider. If you come to the UK and you drink cider, consider the fact that it's going to put you on the floor, put you backwards, and you're going to sit there and wonder why your arsehole is sore. There is no such thing as soft cider. That's called apple juice. Soft cider is something that is less than 5.5%.
I have no idea what our alcoholic content was on the cider that my dad put up every year. He had a
Probably about
couple wooden
12.2.
he had a couple wooden kegs. He'd add a little yeast and some raisins to the cider and set them up,
Oh, he added raisins. Yeah, definitely around the 12% mark.
and then he would crack them around the first of the year. They'd put them up in September, and they'd sit there until December, January timeframe before he'd crack them.
Yeah, I made some mead years and years ago, but never
Oh,
cider.
you're a mead brewer.
I have not had
Not
any
anymore.
mead. I haven't had any mead since I left Germany.
That will mess you up, especially the hangovers. Don't know what it is about a mead hangover.
Um,
They're brutal.
it depends on the honey. I've made mead that have got the most gentlest thing, or where you just in your entire legs, well, basically from your kidneys down, just fail to work, and you fall over, and with no hangover whatsoever. And I've had ones where I sat there going, "We're a bit busy," and then woken up with a case of me wanting to sit there and smack my head out with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
See, we had an apple orchard, and we would go out and shake the back the truck up to the apple trees and just fill the bed of the truck up with apples and pears, and then take them to the cider press. The guy would press them out for us. He kept some. He kept. That's a great thing about where I grew up. The like the butcher would keep 10% of the keep all the hide and 10% of the meat you brought in, and he'd process your beef and such for you. For it didn't cost you anything. And no money exchanged hands. Well, the apple, the guy that pressed the apples and such for you, the same thing. He'd keep 10% of what you brought in and got squeezed out, and that way he could sell that, but no money exchanged hands for for what you brought in,
That's
and you'd
uh,
have all this pressings that you wanted.
that's one of my, well, it's probably the basis of my surname. But also we used to have what we used to do was fruit picking, which is where you would pay a small amount and you'd sit there and you would basically go and pay picking the fruit. We didn't have Mexicans in
Yeah. We got a few
and
places like that in
go pick
Illinois.
fruit. And you can eat as many gooseberries and things like that as you want. And then you just hand them all over. And you actually get paid at the end of the day, but it's quite fun. But my actual surname, uh, which I'm going to actually, I suppose, dox myself here, is Cottrell. Now, a Cottrell is a cottage dweller. And this, when you get these people who sit there and go,
We seem to have lost you, Kitten, altogether. Your microphone seems to have gone completely out.
really?
Okay, now you're back.
Okay, done it.
But yeah,
Hang on.
oh yeah, Ty, you're right.
Where
The
can,
bartering system. We would barter all the time up there when I grew up in Ohio. I mean, uh, this, like I've said before, my nearest living neighbors were a mile and a half away, and there would be just we grew corn, and another one of our neighbors down the road, he could grow potatoes like you wouldn't believe, but he couldn't grow corn. So we'd swap out bushels of sweet corn for bushels of potatoes.
Yeah, most of my
And
relatives are farmers, so I kind of know how you're talking.
yep, yep. Uh, come I sometimes I hated canning season, sometimes I loved it. It was a love-hate relationship with canning season.
how many
Because
kiln jars can you enjoy?
you knew you were eating good for months afterwards, but man, that was a lot of work.
Yeah, the first few days of it are nice, and then after that, you're like,
Yep. Uh, my uncle, he had a crap ton of beehives. And every year we'd go out and help him gather up his honey and help him spin it out and jar it up. Well, our pay, quote unquote, pay for that would be 5 gallons of raw honey. Uh,
5 gallons?
yeah, 5 gallons of raw honey, pounds of beeswax, and pounds of honeycomb.
nice.
We
I'm
didn't
just
we
getting
didn't
my
have
head
to
around 5 gallons of honey.
we rarely bought sugar. We used honey in just about everything.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, it's better for you.
That lasts me a year.
Well, we were putting up hundreds of gallons of honey. So 5 gallons of honey wasn't that much. I mean, it wasn't that big of a dent of what we brought in every year.
He let him just fly
Hang on.
natural, or is he one of those people that rented them out and took them places?
No,
Mm.
he had hives set
Okay.
up on various different farms,
Okay.
Mm.
and I mean, he'd have like 30 hives here and 40 hives over
Mhm.
there and 50 hives over here, and it would take you a day at each farm to gather in all the honey, all the supers,
Right. Right.
That's
and we
22 and a bit kilos of honey plus comb.
oh yeah, I mean that honey. I mean a friend of mine sells honey here. He's got about 20 hives. He's very small. That's all he has is those 20 hives, and a quart of his honey is $25 just for a quart jar.
That's a
And
reasonable price.
I'm sitting there
So good.
going, you know,
You've got to remember, I'm in a very small, overpopulated country. Um,
right.
so in differentiation might be like that. I'm sitting this. I'm still trying to get over my head around that many, or even getting the word gallon of honey.
Oh, I
I'm
went
happy with
through
250 gram jars.
uh 2 weeks ago. I uh, had a real bad head and chest cold, and I went through 4 pounds of honey just with my teas because I drank nothing but honey tea the whole week,
Oh, beautiful.
and I went through 4 pounds of honey that week.
4 pounds.
Yep, 4 pounds of honey,
Honey, whiskey, and a little bit of lemon. Perfect cough
and
Oh,
medicine.
yep.
hang on. I never said anything about honey whiskey. Personally, I would go for a brandy top or basically a whiskey toddy or a hot toddy. Um, I've got no problems with a brandy top
I
or a
was
honey
drink.
top.
I would make up a thing of tea, pour in a shot of Jameson's orange and a bunch of honey,
That'll fix you.
What?
and I drank 6 or 7 of those a day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll do that, but that's not for medicinal. Well, it is medicinal reasons. Um,
Oh no, I it was strictly medicinal for me. It
oh,
was strictly
absolutely.
medicinal because
It's
I
always medicinal.
I, I was talking to my one of my doctors yesterday. I've got another doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, but so I just heads up anybody, I will not be streaming tomorrow because I will be sitting in my neurologist's office tomorrow morning having a nerve conductivity study done. And if you've ever had one of those, you know how enthused I am to undergo that again. But that is a
Does that
yearly thing I
include
have to do.
glass patch electroshock therapy?
That's, I mean, you get all these needles stuffed in your body and they go around and start sending electricity through you to see where the nerves are
Yep.
working and where they're not.
Yeah,
So,
that's pretty much what I
I do
thought. But
not like Southern
I used to
Comfort.
think about Western Pet. No, so okay, Southern Comfort. If you mix it with lime, lemonade, possibly. Other than that, it's pissing foul.
I cannot drink Southern Comfort any bit more than I can drink Black Velvet or any form of tequila.
Too sweet.
Hang on. What do you call a black velvet?
Black Velvet whiskey is Canadian whiskey.
Oh, right. To me, a black velvet is it's Guinness and champagne.
Oh, no, Black Velvet's a brand name of a Canadian whiskey.
Yeah, I've
All
always
right.
heard of these
That probably.
Guinness drinks. I always heard of these Guinness drinks, and I could never bring myself to water down a beautiful Guinness with something else.
Thank you. I can't do
Guinness
it either.
is not a good beer. Guinness is a adequate at best stout. It is nowhere near a good stout. I can give you a good oyster stout or many others, even just on my local. They have 5 to 6 other beers that you can drink that are far better than Guinness.
See, here in America, you're probably only going to find Guinness and maybe Murphy's.
Oh God! Don't even talk to me about Murphy's. Murphy's is ah.
Why do you think I like Guinness?
I can understand. Okay, I can understand why you said it's like Murphy's or Guinness.
Now,
Ugh.
there is a German
Why not
black
go for a
beer.
Bock beer? Yeah, I was going to say go for a Bock beer. Go for an Eisenwein Bock or something like that.
There is a German black beer, alt beer that I drank. It was made in one particular gas house, and they made their own, and that stuff was just absolutely amazingly good. But I mean, you could only get it there. They only served it there. They didn't bottle it or nothing else. They just had it in the keg, and they pour it out from the keg into the mug and hand it to you.
Yeah,
I'll
beer in
I'll
America
send you
sucks.
the link. I'll send you the link to my pub and sorry, my local, and yeah, they are a microbrewery, and he might have won the other award or two. But I'm surprised because the whole, as far as I'm concerned, the whole of your Midwest, I know is the German Midwest. Why do you not have decent Bock beers?
But you got to figure the German Midwest makes Anheuser-Busch.
Oh
That's where,
shit!
that's where it comes from.
Yeah, my pub
So,
sells Budvar, not Budweiser. It sells Budvar and Povile, which are the other ones. Let's put it nicely.
yeah.
But why do you not have decent Bock beers in the whole of the Midwest? This makes no sense.
Most people just drink the mass-produced stuff, so it's unless you run across, like Toss was saying, the small microbreweries or whatnot, you get some really bad same beer. It's all the same watery stuff.
And that's why I'm not a beer drinker. I mean, every now and again I may have an IPA, but for the most, drink a Blue Moon or something like that. But for the most part, I drink strictly whiskeys and bourbons.
Yeah, there are a lot of good whiskeys in America, but beer is.
Incidentally, do you know which country is best for whiskey at the moment?
No, I don't.
Well, right now I'm enjoying a Japanese whiskey.
Yep, Japan and India.
My boss bought me a bottle of Japanese whiskey for my birthday, and it is really good.
Yeah.
Japanese
The only
always made
reason.
it affect everything.
Oh well, that's because us Yankee fingers are just too big damn tall. I don't know if you remember that film, but whatever.
No.
The bulk of
And
the decent whiskies actually come from Japan and India.
I've never
Um,
had an Indian
and
whiskey.
hmm?
I've never had an Indian
So
whiskey.
what? Uh, yeah, that's call center, not casino.
Wow, $70 for a single malt. $250 for a Nika G&G. $349 for a Paul John. Well, they're not. They're not.
Oh no, the only songs
They're
are
they're they're
Americans.
not bashful for charging for their whiskeys, are they?
No, absolutely not. You certainly don't sell them to the Scots, the Irish, the English, the Welsh, or the rest of Europe. You only sell them to Americans, and they'll price them against them.
Yeah. Well, it
I'm
has
not
to be
being
better.
that.
Has to be better than their tech support anyway.
Hello, this is Bob from
Hello,
Bombay.
my name is Duncan. I am talking to you. How are you? How are you this morning? It is very sunny. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your hurricane. I didn't realize that was happening at this moment, as I am just here where you spoke to me. By the way, I used to be a call center trainer, so I can't really skate.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, these guys are, $70 is about the cheapest brand of Indian whiskey that I could see there. So they're
Yeah,
not bashful when it comes to their stuff.
I'll tell you what. Get a VPN, change it to Britain, and then look up Indian whiskey. You'll probably get it about $50 cheaper.
Yeah, Data Aldi did buy Winn Dixie, and a couple of our stores. The one Winn Dixie I spend any time in, their shelves are starting to become more and more sparse. And I don't know if it's because of Aldi buying them out and they're starting to change out what they're carrying, or if they're going to just close this. I hope they don't close this store down.
Yeah, that's what we're
Well,
worried
if you're
about up
getting
here. As the Kroger and Safeway bought each other. Or one of them bought the other, and that's the only two grocery stores we have in the state, basically.
well,
Oh,
I
that
mean,
so
Safeway died
basically,
in the UK about 30 years ago. Um, but if you want an oldie, guess what? You're going to get decent stuff. Aldi is one of the biggest, if not one of the, if not the biggest, but is primarily one of the biggest sellers in the UK.
See, Aldi's here is mainly like generic. It's cheap, but it's
Oh
all
no,
generic products for
yeah,
the most part.
yeah, it's shit, but it works. It's not
yeah,
brand
they're
name.
uh, the Aldi's here. If you want to use a buggy, make certain you take a quarter with you because you got to put a quarter in it if
That's
you
Yep,
the most
want to
brilliant
use the
thing.
shopping cart. And then if you don't bring your own bags in, they charge you 15 cents a bag to buy 15 or 20 cents a bag to buy their bags. So you take your
correct.
own grocery bags in with you. You want
Absolutely.
get your
That's
you want
the
your
way it's
quarter
always
back, you
been.
got to put your shopping cart back up.
Otherwise, the homeless people come
Hmm.
around and put the carts up and take the quarters.
Right.
Hmm. Or you
Then,
just get the back end of a teaspoon and slap it in the shopping trolley, and in our place, you get a pound out. You get a quarter. In our place, we get a quid. I mean, that's about $13,000 at the moment, isn't it?
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, we can never get dollar coins to catch on here, no matter
No,
how many times we release them.
because they always release them the size of a quarter.
Yep, they got rid of the old big silver dollars.
Yep. Now I've got some of those big silver dollars in the big 50-cent pieces.
Yep, I used
I've
to love big 50-cent pieces. I used to give those out as tips at bars because I had a theater I went to that would always give me a 50-cent piece as change.
but
If
I
I
remember when
remember
we
correctly, weren't the big silver dollars about the size? They're about uh, just short of an inch across.
Yeah, yeah, the old Eisenhowers.
Huh. I think I've got a couple of them.
I've got some of the moon landing ones.
Well, I never saw those.
So yeah, if you from look up the moon landing dollar. Let's see if I can find it
If
real
they've got
quick.
a picture of the, if they've got a picture of the astronauts on them, I think I might actually have to just buy them just for the hell of it, not for an investment or anything like that, just to have them. If they've got the, if you got the Mercury sevens or anything like that on them,
Oh,
Let's see. Here we
uh,
go. There you
you've
go.
got if you've got an L Shepherd on there, I want one.
I've seen that eagle.
Hang
This is
on,
just
I think
Eisenhower on the
you
other
know
side.
this stuff.
I didn't realize
So
that that's what those were.
yep, because you see him on. That's the Earth in the background, and he's landing on the
Yeah,
moon.
yeah. I've never ever actually realized that. I recognized the eagle, but I never paid attention to the background.
Then you've got this one here,
That one
the
I've never
Liberty
seen.
Bell
Hang
over the
on.
moon.
No, that's not the one I've got. It was the other one.
You got the one with the eagle. Yeah,
That's the one.
I've got probably about 30 or 40 of those. I've got half a dozen or so of these.
Oh, but what's the one on the third with the one which looks like the actual Apollo landing? God, what? I
That was
really
a
like that
collector's
one.
coin there.
Ah, right.
Yeah, that's
I
probably
really
real.
like that one.
Those are usually real silver. They're
Yeah.
not actually worth the dollar that's on them. They're worth a lot
No.
more.
Oh wow, what's that one? Is that the blue? Was the blue current actually done, or is that just a picture?
No, that is a commemorative coin for the 50th anniversary.
Oh, so it's a modern colorized
Yep.
anodized unit.
Yep.
Probably
Ah,
painted.
okay. I was going to say because yeah. Well, I'm assuming anodized and doped.
Yeah, if you notice the planet Earth is centered up over Australia there, not over the US or any place else.
Hang on, it's got Australia on it. Oh, obviously it's a fake.
No, that's us
So,
taking aim with our next space station.
Yeah. Everyone knows that Australia isn't a proper country.
so
It doesn't exist. No, it's that second one. Yeah, I think I've got about 4 or 5 of them. Yeah, but I'd be really interested if I got one of the ones with the actual moon landings and the astronauts on. And the crazy thing is, I'm a, I'm a bloody Brit. I only got them because of commemoratives.
Yeah. I just wish we could keep our Canadians from bringing all their damn quarters down here.
Hey, Ramen,
Well,
yeah, I have to agree with you about Aldi's. I don't buy too much meat in Aldi's.
hmm,
I still prefer going to Walmart or Winn-Dix or Publix for my meats.
I mean, I don't think I can do it, but can you look up because I can bring one up if you want. Beatrix Potter UK coins because
Really?
you'll probably be able to do it a lot better than I can.
Beatrix Potter. I can't quite place that name. I know I've heard it.
Okay. All right, here. Guide to Beatrice Potter 50p coins. There we go. And let me share that screen.
That's not just a 50 pence piece; it's the rest of them as well.
See, I like that shape. I knew it had something to do with rabbits. What's
Oh
the name
yeah,
of what's the name of what she did? I know the name, I know rabbits, but I can't place
Peter
it.
Rabbit.
Peter
Peter
Rabbit.
Rabbit,
Okay. That's
the
what I
three
couldn't think
little
of.
rabbits. Yeah, Miss Tiggy Winkle.
Yeah, it would have been childhood that I've last heard of that.
Oh, almost definitely childhood. I used to read it to a lot of people have known.
Yeah. I really do
It's
like
like
the
Doctor
shape. I really do like the shape of those coins. It's very interesting.
Heptagonal.
Yeah.
They're not just heptagonal, but they're also. I'm trying to think of the actual phrase of the word. When you actually roll them, they're actually more efficient than rolling down a hill than a coin, or a circular object, because every time the tiny little curve and it points up actually accelerates it.
Hmm.
It's got a specific term, and I can't remember what the hell it is. I should remember this. My my blood geometry teacher is going to kill me. But yeah, those were a whole series of coins that were released in pretty much a single year. But there wasn't just them. We also had the 1 pence, 2 pence, 5 pence, 10 pence, pound coins, and £2 coins, all released with commemorative units. And they're very collectible,
Yeah, yeah.
but at the same time, they're only worth 50p.
Yeah, the closest we would have had was the state quarters that were so big a few years back.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody collecting
The,
them like they were going to be worth something.
I was going to say, outside of, I mean, obviously you've got federal currency, but do you actually have state based currencies?
No,
No,
no.
no, no.
No, haven't had them in almost 150 years. There was a time up
So,
until the 1800s. Up until the 1800s, there were state-based and even city-based currencies. A bank could make their own currency back then.
There, there's actually
See, then
company
went to us.
There's actually company currency from back in the day where they would pay their workers in their own currency and they had to spend it at their own stores.
In the company store, yep.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
mostly coal mining towns and such, all along the Appalachian Mountains range.
there was actually a specific legislation. Um, if you go around in places in the UK, you can find things like the Preston pound, Dockyard pound, and things like that. And what would happen is this would probably give you about 10% extra. But there was actually a legislation that went against, very, very specifically against doing company currency, so that therefore you weren't tied to a certain. Otherwise, you'd be classed as an indentured servant because everything you did would be classed as an indenture because you only paid in indentured currency.
Yeah, the company store thing here used to, and the bad thing, I'm trying to remember where that is now. Hmm. I remember just reading, or there was a issue here not too long ago about a company, uh, Amazon or somebody bought up a whole city, and or they were building a whole city all based around their company, and they're going to have their own, be operating their own stores out of it, and everything was going to be going right through there. And there was some people were talking about, that was bringing back the old company store uh,
Mm.
issues.
You can do that as long as you can convert it to another unit, as far as I'm aware. Otherwise, it's like the similar version of like an Amazon token or whatever you want to call it these days. It's basically just tokenism, and you can sit there and trade it as much as it is. It's only as worth as whatever any person says what it is worth.
Let's see here. I'm trying to scroll real quick here, see if I can find the issue that was going on, and now I can't remember who it was.
It's probably Florida, if anyone.
And they were really talking about the, because the company was going to own the houses and everything. It was basically you
Oh,
move in there, they put you up in their house, and the grocery stores were owned by them, the schools were ran by them, everything.
Don't
And
take
there's
this the wrong way, but I mean, it's effectively it's a Trump dollar.
it's actually worse than what the Disney owned town down here in Florida.
Oh,
That
you mean Mickey Bucks?
DeSantis just broke up.
about time too.
Now,
But I had
oh,
50. I had
he's still
58
catching hell over
trillion.
that.
Well, they had such a sweet deal that nobody else has for no good reason.
Disney had a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Disney had only kept their.
Good for it.
It all boils down to if Disney just kept their mouth shut over parental rights bill,
the
then
public.
they wouldn't have had the issue. They wouldn't have gotten in trouble with everything.
Right, but they were also supposed to build a whole community there, and they never did. As soon as Walt died, they all died with him.
Well, no, they did build the community and everything there. The problem is that they started operating it independent of Florida law, and
That's
they
the whole
allowed,
point.
and nobody really paid any attention to it until nobody paid any
People,
real attention to it until, like I said, Disney started messing around with DeSantis and the parental rights bill, and that just put a big ass target on them.
Yep. Well deserved.
Yep. And it has caused all kinds of problems.
I mean, yeah, I mean, what they were supposed to build. I mean, wasn't that what Epcot was? They were supposed to build an entire community,
Yeah, it was
and
supposed to
that's
be
why
like
he got the free space.
it was supposed to be like the city of tomorrow or something like that. Walt had a big vision for
Yeah,
it.
it was the Egalitarian Project Community of Tomorrow,
Mhm.
whatever the acronym was supposed to mean. But it was supposed to be this majestic thing, and it was supposed to build this entire tax haven. Well, not a tax haven. I don't mean it in a business way, but I mean as an egalitarian like system across everywhere. And instead, what you got was a load of weird drunken people sitting there going, I don't want to play Snow White anymore.
I hear music.
The
Well, it's not me.
the local county alert system just went
Oh,
off, and
Oh,
what it is a water boil notice. They're
or what?
water boil notice. They're shutting down water lines to different areas of the county right now and purging them. And when they bring them back up, then for the next couple of days, any water you use that you're going to
It's
consume, you have to boil.
non-potable.
You have to
Yeah.
boil it first.
it's what happens when you live in a swamp, man.
So it happens once a year. We're used to it. For 3 or 4 days in a row, you have to boil all. You just boil all your water, or you go and buy bottled water for cooking and drinking.
I must admit, I find this a weird concept. I mean, I got used to it from working around in Africa. That you don't drink water, you don't take ice in your drinks, and you don't do anything. A
Oh,
lot of Europeans are quite used to this. Everybody else in the UK just sits there and goes, "What do you mean you can't do this?" And this is why we all get very sick. Oh, oh no.
that is a big girl.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit too big for my taste.
Mm.
She spent more than an hour or two in the gym.
And I would wager some substances because women generally don't
Bearing
get
in
that
mind,
big without help.
my ex-wife was 6 months old. Mind you, she was skinnier than me, and I'm a little skinny mini.
Oh, wait a second here. accidentally turned down the brightness on my phone instead of the shutting off the ringer.
You're not turning down the brightness on a phone. You just got something else to deal with at the moment. You're just watching it on repeat.
No, oh no. The I was shutting off the ringer on my phone so that the when the next three alerts come through, it doesn't ring through. We don't hear the ringers. My phone will
Uh
just vibrate.
huh. Yeah, yeah. Vibrate. I need a wet wipe.
So, uh, good. Did y'all see that video of the oil protesters?
What's a big
Uh,
fat chick that you just sent over? Oh,
the
oh,
the truckers driving through all the oil protesters, and one of them fell underneath the
oh,
front tires.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it ran over her
oh,
legs.
Darwin
oh
And
connection.
no, oh dear.
the trucker did
Yeah,
not stop. He kept right on going.
yeah. Do you have the phrase "Oh dear, how sad"? Never mind.
FAFO.
Yeah.
You
Um.
know.
By the way, I mean you know me as uh purely hidden, obviously on here.
Oh
Um.
yeah.
But on on the little Twitter streams, I managed to get myself suspended after, well, sorry, suspended, permabanned with no remittance, even under the new goal. Oh, he's gone. Um, just because I had to go at Just Stop Oil.
Whoops, wrong button.
He's back again. Hello, you're back again. Um, but I had to go at Just Stop Oil, and despite everything I'd said in all those years, having to go at Just Stop Oil got me permabanned.
From Twitter.
That's it. Yep. And that was under the new regime as well.
Well, I know there's a big. I
Which
mean,
is
that
that's why
that
I've got a new name.
the what's her name? That new woman that Musk put in charge. She had put out a huge
Yeah.
apology statement here the other day because she pulled some posts dealing with the guy from 1940s with the funny little mustache.
Really?
Yeah, and
Gosh.
she put out a huge, big old letter about why they finally decided to pull those down. It's like, uh,
Hmm.
as much as I would love to see a totally free speech uh, platform, I fully understand why there could never be one.
It would turn into 4chan.
No,
It would blow
yeah.
4chan away.
I, it would make slash poll seem like a paddling pool.
So,
Anybody who's been to poll
well,
will
no, that
understand
there's
that.
just certain things that no matter how much you're in favor of free speech, that you would not allow to be talked about on your platform. You could never have 100% free speech.
Yeah,
Oh
we-
yeah, Ramen, you're right. She would have made it. fill her
Yeah.
up with green paint, and she would have made a good Hulk.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have corrected the poor script.
I didn't even watch them. I had no interest in. I have no interest in watching anything out of the MCU or
Sorry,
DC
I'm
universe.
flicking back between.
I'm sorry, what's that, Fury?
Yes, I'm flicking back between basically Streamlabs, StreamYard and YouTube. So
Oh,
therefore, I'm not necessarily keeping up with chat. And yes, she would make an absolutely fantastic She-Hulk.
but no, I've get they um especially after watching that extended 4 hour um
Kit
uh
Stream?
DCU movie.
The Snyder cut.
Yeah, the Snyder cut.
Yeah,
I thought I was bad in taking 3 days to watch Twinkle Toes Batman, but that Snyder cut, man, that wore me out trying to watch that.
yeah. I saw Five Nights at Freddy's recently, and that killed me. I almost walked out on it. It was so weak. It's not a horror movie.
What is it, a slasher flick?
And
It should be.
no. Five Nights at Freddy's.
There's not even a good jump scare in the movie. The jump scares they have are just incredibly lame. There's one good kill in the entire film, and it's in like the middle. It's just a weak movie.
Right.
Yeah, the
Five Nights
last
at Freddy's is designed for 12-year-olds.
Exactly, Undead. It's ramen. Willy's Wonderland was a far better movie of that genre.
I
Gremlins
I
is
say
scary.
I'm still not. I've never been a slasher or blood and guts type horror movie fan. All right. I've seen them. I saw the first couple of Halloweens and the first couple of
Mm.
Freddy's, the first couple of Michaels, or whatever.
I've had the
Uh,
House of
saw
Hell.
saw the Saw movies, the first couple three of the
Mm.
Saw movies. I will have to admit, the first Saw movie was good.
That was
I
interesting.
did
The
I did
first Saw
like that
movie.
one. But I'm still
The
to
first Saw
me
movie was a theatrical release.
the best horror movie that absolutely horrified me. Two of them: The Birds and Psycho.
Hitchcock fan.
All right, those
Mm.
movies actually caused me fear.
Mm. The original Night of the Living Dead. There's a good horror film.
Yes, yeah. Well, the original Dawn of the Dead too. Ramen disagrees with me. She likes
Dawn
the
of the Dead or
remake of
Dawn of the
Dawn of
Dead
the
2?
Dead. She likes the remake of Dawn of the Dead more than the original, but I still prefer the original.
Ba, 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 ba.
Now, but like I said, when I saw the original Dawn of the Dead, it was in a two-story mall, and the movie theater was on the second floor. And when we come out of the theater, it was 10 o'clock. The mall had already closed, and come out, and you go to look down the stairwell to go down to the first floor to leave, and the mall's absolutely empty.
Yeah, I miss a real mall.
Ba, 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 ba.
Okay, Rama's telling me she liked
Just,
both, but Vin Rames was awesome.
I think the first horror
Oh,
movie
now
that ever got me was well, it was a variation of Midget's Cookers. It's Village of the Damned.
yeah, Village. I forgot about Village of the Damned.
Mhm.
I forgot about that movie.
But unfortunately, there was actually two of them. There's Village of the Damned and City of the Damned. They came out the same thing. They were all based on John Wyndham, but
Ramen
hmm.
brings up Carrie, and uh,
Carrie,
yeah, the movie.
you mean my ex-wife?
Dirty pillows. Cover up your dirty pillows.
Dirty Carrie, Dirty Carrie, Dirty Carrie, Dirty Carrie. So,
Well, well, okay. We've been going for almost 2 hours,
Yeah.
so uh,
Nice
and
talking to you.
as always, I've always got things to do.
mhm.
Kitten, thank you for coming on. Much appreciate you.
Not a problem. And it's very nice to talk to you, Retro, as well.
Nice to meet you.
Retro, it's been a real pleasure having you on. And thank you for joining the stream. I really enjoyed it.
Until next time, then.
So, all right. And either one of you got any words of wisdom before we head out the door?
Not really. Don't
Kitten?
have it.
No,
Never
he ain't
lick
got
your
no words.
pussy until it's actually said hello.
All right. And as always, everybody,
It's not wisdom.
let's see. Like I said, tomorrow I will not be here, but we'll be back. So the next stream I'll be involved with will be on Friday for the Friday Fun stream with Ramen and Dar. Hopefully, Dar will be. Dar's been getting into his job has interfered with his Friday morning streams, so we may
Terrible.
have to time shift Friday streams to fit Dar's work schedule. But anyway, as always, everyone, be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. All right, and have a good one.
Bye, everybody.